Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We're getting ready to make my chicken Florentine. That's what we're getting ready to do. Some serious cooking. It looks like a lot, but you know what? It's really not. And this is going to be so quick, so easy. It's not going to even take us 30 minutes to make. Okay, we're going to use some garlic salt, some granulated onion. We're going to use some table blend, Mrs. Dash, some of the Italian seasoning. We're going to need chicken broth, chicken stock. You can use vegetables broth stock. We're going to use some olive oil. That is 3 chicken breasts that I've cut up into pieces, as you can see. We're going to use some spinach. We're going to use the penne noodles. We're going to use butter. We're going to use some Parmesan cheese, and I've got the shaved, black pepper, and some cherry tomatoes. Here is your shot. Let me clear some of this stuff out and let's get started. I'll be right back. All right, while we're getting this chicken going, you definitely want to go ahead and get that pot of water going for the pasta. And we're just going to put some olive oil in here. We're not trying to deep fry this like fried chicken. The main goal here, and I've already got my pan heating as well. The main goal here is to go ahead and put enough to kind of coat the bottom, and we want to get all that fish in there. I said fish. I said fish, but we're doing chicken. Okay? And then on top of that, this is where the butter comes in. Because we really want the butter, but, you know, butter will just burn. So that's about, I would say, close to 2 tablespoons-ish. And so I'm just going to melt this all in that oil. And like I said, my pan is already hot. So I'm just going to get that butter incorporated in this and get it all melted in there. And then we're going to put the chicken in. So I'll be back in about a minute. I'm going to let this melt. I'll be right back. We're waiting on that butter to melt. I said, let's just go ahead and season up this chicken. So we're going in with some garlic salt. And keeping in mind what we put in here. It looks like a lot on top, but we're going to mix this up, okay? We're going to go in with some of this pepper. Season to your taste. Season to your taste, your family's taste, and your family's liking, okay? If you see something I'm using you don't want to use, don't. Okay? We're going to go in with some of that Italian seasoning. We're going to go in with some of that Mrs. Dash. And then we're going to finish it up with this onion salt. Granulated onion is what I'm using, but you can use onion salt or onion pepper. Doesn't matter. And then we're just going to mix this up. That's all we're getting ready to do. And then this butter should be ready here in just a second. It should be all melted up. So let me get this. Change your camera view. I'll be right back. As you can see, the butter is ready. We want to try to get this in single layers. That's the goal. Excuse me. I guess I got a little bit too much up my nose. So the goal is to get this into single layers so that we can turn it over in single layers. We want to make sure that it's cooked on both sides. And as you can see, mine are different shapes. It is what it is. Just when you're cutting it up, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get her done. Okay? I hope you guys are having a beautiful evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. I hope life is treating you good. And if it's not, still make the best out of it. Because life happens to us all. None of us are exempt. Feel free to like and subscribe, please, you guys. Your girl is trying to build her channel over here. Okay? And you guys, it doesn't cost to subscribe. Okay? It does not. So subscribe. Okay? Like and subscribe. Nope, just subscribe, like, and subscribe. Okay? So I'm just going to continue to keep putting these in here. Getting them into a single layer best I can. You don't have to watch this unless you really want to. What you want to talk about. Right? Somebody's saying something to the screen right now. Well, let's just talk about this, girl. Okay, I'm going to continue to keep putting these in. I'm going to get a single layer going on here. And then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like. I'll be right back. Okay, now we've got this single layer in here. What you want to do is, now that you got it in here, don't touch it for 2 minutes. That way we get a nice browning going on that one side, and then we can kind of stir it, and it's still going to get done, and it's still going to cook some more, but let it cook for 2 minutes. Don't touch it, okay? I'll be back. All right, see that chicken? Now you can start flipping it over. You don't even have to be all nice and pretty about it. Just start getting it moved around. Flip those over that you can. You know, because I don't know about you, but I ain't got all day to sit up here and turn over every single piece. You can, if you want to. I'm not. But I'm going to try to get it as best as I can. Turn them over. And then we're going to let them cook for another 3 to 4 minutes until I'm happy with the color and what they look like. And that's what we're going to do. Okay? And like I said, these are still going to cook some more. They will be done by the time we're done. Trust me when I say. All right? See? And that looks good. All right. And while I'm doing this, my water's boiling. I'm cutting up my cherry tomatoes. I'm putting them in halves. And then I'm cleaning my spinach. So that's what you do while you're waiting on this to do what it do. I'll be right back. Okay, this is what our chicken is looking like. I'm going to let this chicken cook for another 2 minutes, and then I'm going to take it out of this pan, okay? So 2 more minutes, this is what she's looking like. All right? And of course, like I said, you do want her to get done. You don't want her to be raw. You want this chicken definitely done. We're still going to cook it a little bit more, but you want it done. Okay? So I'm going to let her go for a couple more minutes, and she will be done. All right? So it takes about 10 minutes total time for this chicken to cook because we've diced it up. All right? I'll be back. I was going to take this out the pan, but I've changed my mind. What I'm going to do now is add that spinach. I'm going to add that spinach, let her wilt right on up. And like I said, make sure that pot is boiling for that pasta, okay? So we're just going to let this wilt right on up. It's going to take a couple of minutes. It won't take long. Just let her wilt right on up. Just let that chicken continue to keep cooking. So we're just going to wilt this baby right on up. And we're going to keep moving along. So this shouldn't take long because you know just like I do. It looks like a lot of spinach, but that ain't going to be no spinach at all by the time this thing is done. None at all. Okay? So we're going to let this go. I'll be back in 2 minutes to show you what the spinach has wilted down to. I'll be back. See? 2 minutes in. Look at this. See how that spinach didn't wilt it down to almost nothing? Look at that. It's almost wilted down to absolutely nothing. Spinach is definitely a trick. If you've never cooked with it before, it tricks you. It makes you believe that you've got a lot more than what you got. It's kind of like greens, but spinach is much worse than greens, okay? So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and put in some chicken broth, okay? And I would say I'm going to put in maybe about 1.5 cups. Okay? And we're going to let this boil all up and do what it do. But we're also going to do something else. I would have put the garlic in there before, but I didn't want it to burn. So this is why I put the garlic in now. It's just going to go ahead and boil on up and marry with those flavors. A real nice heaping spoonful. Don't need no more than that unless you want to. And like I tell you all the time, when the mosquitoes are out, they hate garlic. And when I say they hate it, they hate it. This is a good time to put garlic in as many menu items that you cook as possible. Okay? Trust me. I'm living proof of that. So we're going to bring this to a boil. Is what we're going to do at this point. We're not trying to make gravy or anything like that. But we are going to bring this to a boil. And then by that time, it should be about time for us to add those noodles. The very last thing is we're going to add those tomatoes. We're going to save those tomatoes for last simply because we're not trying to cook the tomatoes. They're going to get a nice little heat on them once we mix them all in with the rest of this, okay? We'll be back. Okay, now I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to get those penne noodles in there. A little bit of pasta water to be all right. We're going to stir that all up. See how that is coming together? Look at that. And then we have one last component. One simple little last component. What could that be? Well, we're going to put the cheese on there at the very end. But, time to go in with all those tomatoes. And we're just going to stir that all in. And our meal is done. On the table in less than 30 minutes. We've got a full meal that we can feed a whole family. And it is done. Look at that. Stir it up and she's done. I'm going to plate some up. I'll be right back. All right, there is the chicken Florentine. As you can see, we've got that Parmesan shavings all over it. Now you see why I saved it for the end. There she is. Doesn't she look delicious? Things made easy with Gigi. All day, every day. Everybody be blessed and stay safe. And as always, Gigi, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, you guys.